Good morning, guys! Here's what you need to know about travel requirements when flying to the Philippines. Coming right up. Reference is from Philippine Airlines. They have listed the eligible passengers that can fly to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic and what documents you need to bring or present when you are flying with Philippine Airlines. They have a list of documents for a certain category of passenger flying to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. So let's talk about them one by one. The first one is eligibility. The following are allowed to travel and enter to the Philippines. Number 1 is Filipino nationals. Number 2, spouses and children of former Filipino national. This has started last December 7. Number 3, accredited foreign government and international organization officials and their dependents. Number 4, non-Filipino spouses, children or parents of a Filipino national. Number 5, non-Filipino seafarers with 9C visa. Number 6, former Filipino nationals and dual citizens. Like I said, this has started last December 7. And lastly, non-Filipinos with eligible Philippine visa. So please take note of the following categories that are mentioned that are allowed to travel and enter the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. Now let's go over the travel requirements per category when you fly to the Philippines. Our first category is a Filipino national. What does a Filipino national needs to bring if he or she is traveling to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic? Number 1 is, of course, the Philippine passport. Number 2, proof of citizenship. Examples of this is your birth certificate. Number 3 is pre-book quarantine hotel or facility. And number 4, RT-PCR test upon arrival in the Philippines. This is the mandatory test to all passengers arriving in Manila during the time of the pandemic. Our next category for travel requirements is the non-Filipino spouses or children of a Filipino national. Let's do this category if traveling with a Filipino national. Number 1, foreign passport, visa-free starting December 7. Number 2, authentic marriage certificate for spouses. Number 3, authentic birth certificate for children regardless of age. And number 4, must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. At the very end of this video, I will be showing you the 4 conditions of IATF when you guys travel to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. And these are the travel requirements if not traveling with a Filipino national. Number 1, foreign passport with valid visa. Number 2, authentic marriage certificate for spouses. Number 3, authentic birth certificate for minor children. This is from 17 years old and below, or children with special needs, regardless of age only, and must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. So please take note of these documents that you need to bring if you are traveling with a Filipino national, because the Balikbayan visa has resumed again last December 7. So please take note of these documents if you are flying with the Filipino national, and also these documents if you are not flying with the Filipino national. Our next category for travel requirements is the non-Filipino parent of a minor Filipino child or child with special needs. When traveling with a Filipino national or Filipino national is currently residing in the Philippines at the date of travel. So these are the documents that you need to bring. Number 1, foreign passport with valid visa. Number 2, authentic birth certificate of child. And number 3, must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. On this category, this is the foreign parent of a Filipino minor child if you are traveling alone, or this applies to those couples that are not married yet but they have a child and you as a father is listed in the birth certificate of your child. So please take note of these documents that you need to present if you plan to travel to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. Again, the category is for non-Filipino parent of a minor Filipino child or child with special needs. Our next category for the travel requirement is the former Filipinos and dual citizenship. Former Filipinos, these are Filipinos who naturalized abroad, while dual citizenship is a person that is a citizen of two different countries. So here are the requirements that you need to bring if you plan to travel to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. Number 1 is foreign passport and actual valid, old or expired Philippine passport, or foreign passport and any of the following. Number 1, authentic birth certificate. Number 2, identification certificate. This is the certificate given to you when you became a dual citizen. And number 3, certificate of reacquisition or retention or recognition. Again, these are the documents that was given to you when you applied for your dual citizenship. Then the very last requirement must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. Please take note of these documents for the category of former Filipino and dual citizens. So our next category is for spouses and children of former Filipino nationals. Here are the requirements if traveling with a Filipino national. Number 1 is foreign passport, visa-free starting December 7. Number 2, authentic marriage certificate for spouses. Number 3, authentic birth certificate of children regardless of age. And number 4, must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. And these are the requirements also if not traveling with a Filipino national. Number 1, foreign passport with valid visa. Number 2, authentic marriage certificate for spouses. Number 3, authentic certificate for children regardless of age. And number 4, must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. Here are some reminders to avail the following privileges. Must be a national of a country listed under Executive Order 408. I have a video on this on which countries are covered with the Balikbayan visa program. Also, another reminder that the Filipino national must be currently residing in the Philippines at the date of travel. So please be guided on these reminders. Our next category is for non-Filipinos with valid 9C visa. You guys need to have the following. Number 1 is foreign passport or seaman's book. And number 2 must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. Another category is non-Filipino with eligible long-term visa. The following are the documents that you need to present upon boarding and present to the immigration officer when you get to Manila. Number 1, passport with eligible valid visa. These visas, for example, are the 13A visa, the foreign national that has residency here in the Philippines already, and all that stuff. Then, must also meet the additional conditions of the IATF. The other category is accredited foreign government and international organization officials and their dependent. For the exact requirements or the specific requirements of this particular category, please contact the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA and also the Bureau of Immigration. So most of the categories that we mentioned earlier always has this requirement that must meet the additional conditions of the IATF. So what are these conditions by the IATF in order for you to fly to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic? So number 1, must have a valid and existing visa at the time of entry as applicable. Number 2, with pre-book accredited quarantine facility. Number 3, with pre-book COVID-19 testing provider. Number 3 is already provided at the airport. The swab testing stations is already provided at the airport when you land. Just make sure to register for your ECIF QR code because that is the requirements enable for you to undergo swab testing at the airport. And then number 4, subject to the maximum capacity of inbound passengers as set by the National Task Force for COVID-19. With this one, flights going to Manila is still limited. So the passengers that are coming into Manila are still limited. So you will know it if you are one of those that are subject to a maximum capacity for inbound passengers, because you will receive an email or notification from your airline that your flight is canceled or rerouted or scheduled. And there you have it. Those are the travel requirements when you are flying to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic. Like I said earlier, our reference is from the Philippine Airlines. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to share it with your friends and family whom you know that can use this video as reference. I hope to see you guys on our next upload. If you are new to our channel, welcome, welcome. We do travel updates. And if you are not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time we have updates like this. And to our new subscribers, thank you so much for the continued support and the continuous trust to our channel, The Ethan Squad. See you guys next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye!